I broke every single one of my 4x4 PBs except for single with this cube, and out of the box I went from averaging high 38s to low 36s within one session. But before I tell you what cube this is, let's talk about it first. There is a huge difference between 3x3 and 4x4 solving. Think about it. Your TPS throughout a 3x3 solve is much more consistent than on a 4x4. My range of TPS on 3x3 starts at about 4 to 5 on cross, and then turning speed slowly increases throughout F2L and OLL and ends anywhere from 15 to 20 on PLL. On 4x4, during first two centers, I turn really fast because I usually plan at least the first center and a half during inspection, and then I slow down for cross edges because look ahead is so hard. Then I turn a lot faster during last four centers, and then I slow down again for the last cross edge, and then I spam TPS for the last 8 edges and for 3x3 stage. On top of all the sudden changes in TPS, 4x4 also has an extra layer and a lot more pieces than a 3x3, so it's even harder for the cube to handle these sudden accelerations. Ideally, of course, you would just turn a consistent speed for the entire solve, but not everybody's max park. So in my opinion, a good 4x4 needs to be able to remain controllable at high TPS, but should also be effortless to turn at those high speeds as well. This 4x4 does all of those things. In my opinion, that's the most important thing that a 4x4 needs to be able to do, but on top of that, it also needs to be up to par in terms of its general specs. This cube is just 60 millimeters, which is a great size for 4x4, and I find that 3x3 stage flows very well on this cube. It weighs just 115 grams, and the middle layers feel just as effortless to turn as the outer layers, which allows for a really nice flow during last 4 centers and last 8 edges. Corner cutting is decent, and the cube flexes when it needs to, but the magnets are strong enough that 99% of the time it remains stable. Lockups are rare, but I do experience some small catching once every few solves. Normally the cube will just cut right through the catches though, so it's not that much of a problem. I've done over 1,000 solves on it so far, and have not had a single pop, even on what feels like relatively flexible tensions. Now, this next thing is a little bit more subjective, the feeling. The turns are very smooth, and almost have a soft, papery feeling. As mentioned before, it is very controllable, but can also handle high TPS when you want it to, while remaining just as smooth and controllable. Some of you may have already figured out which cube this is, the Angstrom MGC. Now, I want to make it clear that the Cubicle did not sponsor this video. I paid for this cube with my own money, and I wholeheartedly believe that it is an amazing puzzle. I've always loved the Angstrom lubes and the Cubicle's lube services, and I think that the products that come from the Angstrom line are probably some of the best, most high-performing speed cubes around. As discussed throughout this video, the performance of this cube is amazing, and for only $29.99, I can easily recommend this to anybody who is serious about 4x4. So that's it for this video. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, leave it a thumbs up and subscribe so you can stay up to date on all my videos. And as always, keep on solving.